And next, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Maurice Werness. He's a graduate of Bastyr University, which is the Harvard of naturopathic medicine. He's been a naturopathic physician for over 20 years. He's the lead architect of Essentials. Dr. Werness.
Thank you. It's great to be here with everyone. When William first told me about longevity hotspots, I was very intrigued by what he told me. He told me two very important facts. The first one is that folks living in longevity hotspots have a 300% better chance of reaching 100 than we do. That is a vast distinction in health between their health and our health. The second important fact that he told me is that people in longevity hotspots suffer from almost no chronic disease. Here in America, chronic disease is going to kill 75% of us. When he told me those two things, the little light went off in my head, and I remembered that the Center for Disease Control and Prevention says that 80% of heart disease, 80% of diabetes, and 40% of cancer can be prevented or reversed if we would just handle our diet and lifestyle in a better way. What that means is that people living in longevity hotspots bear witness to the fact that these diseases are preventable, that we don't need to be suffering from these diseases that we're suffering here in America. If you look at it in a different way, you could say that people living in longevity hotspots are the perfect case study for optimal human health. They've been living this way for thousands of years and getting the results that we want. They're living long and vital life without suffering chronic diseases. Our mission here at Akea is to bring the wisdom of these longevity hotspots to people here in America so we can also live the long and vital lives without suffering from chronic diseases, which is devastating our population. Longevity hotspots have been studied for decades. Duke University, for example, had the Akea Project. Of course, Akea is where our name comes from. It means may you live well for 100 years. It's a Sardinian word. Of course, Sardinia is one of the longevity hotspots. These longevity hotspots have also been studied by National Geographic. They've done extensive studies on longevity hotspots. There have even been genetic studies where they took twins, and one of the twins would move over here to America, and the other would stay in the longevity hotspot. The one that moved to America would get the same diseases that we suffer from, while the one that stayed in the longevity hotspot stayed healthy and vital. Also, when our culture and lifestyle makes its way to a longevity hotspot, guess what happens? They begin to develop the same kind of chronic diseases that we develop here. Well, our mission again with Akea is to bring this powerful information of the wisdom of longevity hotspots to folks here in America so we can live long and vital lives. And here's what our research showed us. People living in longevity hotspots eat a vast variety of superfoods. These are nutrient-dense, bioactive foods that stimulate the body to do what it was designed to do. Everybody listening to this has hundreds of thousands of biochemical reactions taking place in our body on a moment-to-moment basis. Each one of these reactions requires several steps. Each step in those reactions require a different nutrient to get it to the next step. If we do not have the proper pool of nutrition in our bodies, those biochemical reactions will not complete themselves, our bodies will begin to break down, and we will begin to develop chronic disease. That's how fundamental proper nutrition is to our health. People living in longevity hotspots eat a fermented food with almost every meal. Now, why is fermentation important? Fermentation is essential for optimizing the nutritional value of food. Human beings have eaten fermented foods for thousands of years. But here in America, very few of us eat fermented foods anymore. Fermentation has been used by human beings for thousands of years to both preserve food and optimize the nutritional value of the food. Let's talk about how you make a fermented product. Let's take yogurt, for example, which is a fermented food. You take milk, you put it into a canister, and then you put live cultures of probiotics into that milk. You go to sleep at night, and in the morning you have yogurt. Those healthy microbes have pre-digested and put the nutrition of milk into the optimal form for the body to be able to digest and assimilate. People living in longevity hotspots have vastly more probiotics in their digestive tracts than we have in ours. When people in longevity hotspots get sick, they tend to use natural medicine, herbs and nutrition to make themselves healthy. When we get sick and go to the doctor, oftentimes the doctor will give us an antibiotic. Now, antibiotics are great because they kill the nasty bug that shouldn't be there, but the side effect of antibiotics is that they decimate the healthy probiotics that live in a symbiotic relationship with our own digestive tract. Probiotics pre-digest them into nanoparticles that the cells can actually utilize. Nutrition that the cells can utilize needs to be very small nanoparticles that actually fit into the receptors on the surface of the cell that activate the cell to do what it was designed to do. That's how essential probiotics are. Now, if we don't have those probiotics in our system, the food that we eat is essentially going right through our digestive tract without us being able to assimilate it. So, here's what we decided to do with Essentials. We fermented the top 30 superfoods from these longevity hotspots. The second thing that we did is we actually added cultures of live probiotics to Essentials. So, when you take your daily recommended dosage of Essential, you are going to get 6 billion cultures of live probiotics right in Essentials that will reseed the digestive tract. Now you're going to be able to pull much more nutrition out of whatever food that you're eating. The next thing that we did is we also added live enzymes to Essentials to further break down the food and again allow our digestive tract to become much more efficient. The last thing that we put in Essentials was fermented minerals. And what these fermented minerals do, they are the best absorbed minerals you can get that actually drives the nutrition into the cells. Essentials was not created in a laboratory. There are no synthetics in Essentials. It is all whole food. The body was designed to get nutrition from food. And Essentials is a product that is based on the research of longevity hotspots, based on how people eat and what they eat to get the kind of powerful results they're getting in their life. Very long lives into their 90s and 100 with practically no chronic disease. And here are some of the results that we're seeing. I'm having people come up to me after meetings and say, "Doc, I'm eating much less food than I've eaten before. What's going on?" Here's what's happening. Number one, they're getting the supercharged nutrition from Essentials, from the fermented superfoods out of longevity hotspots. Number two is, with the added probiotics, live enzymes, and fermented minerals, the body's digestive system is becoming much more efficient. Now we're able to pull the proper nutrition out of food, and it's actually able to nourish the body to the point where we don't need to eat the extra food that we were eating. And what happens? We don't have the cravings we used to have, and we begin to lose weight almost effortlessly without trying. We hear about all kinds of wonderful results with Essentials. People have much better energy, better clarity of mind, and at the same time, they're able to sleep soundly at night. We have adaptogenic herbs in Essentials that have been fermented to optimize the potency of these herbs. What these adaptogenic herbs do is allow the body to adapt to what's ever needed. If we need more energy, that energy is there. If we need to calm down and rest, our body also has the ability to calm down and rest. Remember, just like disease is contagious, health is also contagious. When people see your vibrancy, your balance, your clear mind, they're going to want what you have. Then you can share Akea with them, the wisdom of these longevity hotspots, the power of Essentials. Before long, we're all going to be living in a longevity hotspot of our own making. I love sharing this information with you. It's been a great talk. Here's to our health.